welcome back. Today I'm using Honey and Spice from Heidi Swapp, and this is the first Heidi Swapp complete collection that I've bought, and I'm quite liking it quite a bit. There's lots of neutral tones, big patterns, background pages that you can use here, and I am going to be using this pink background page. Now if you've been watching my videos, you know that I most likely always use a white cardstock, just textured white cardstock from American Crafts, but I'm spicing it up with Honey and Spice. So what I did is I went through the 12 by 12 paper pad, and there's this cut apart sheet with all of these little bits that I'm going through with my, I was just going through them. I don't know if you saw that, hopefully did. And these little bits that I have in my hand now, I cut them all from that same sheet, and I am going to be using that sheet and layering it all behind my photo. And because I didn't really, the cut aparts are weird shapes. They're weird, well, not shapes, but sizes. There's very nice tags and tabs and things like that, but the sizes of the little cut aparts, I didn't see myself using them in any other way than what I'm using them for here now. What is up with my talking today? Sorry. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm tucking them all behind my photo, and that's Go and Make Life Beautiful. I am just placing on top of my photo. I wanted to create some areas with black accents because black is quite prominent in this collection. It's sort of, you know, these nice neutral tones, and then there's this beautiful black with this dark green and dark maroon. So it's got these contrast of these very soft colors and then these very bold colors. So and as you can see, I am basically just taking the next little bit that I cut out and just placing it behind my photo. I didn't really have any plan or, you know, rhyme or reason. I didn't have it all figured out, but all I knew is that I wanted to use as much of that sheet as possible. A while ago, probably about a year or two ago, I had this series called One Page Wonder Wednesday, and in that series I would make a scrapbook page using one cut apart sheet, and this reminds me of that. Now I'm using two cut apart sheets, two sheets, because I'm using the sheets of the background, the pink with a distressed look, and then I'm using the cut apart sheet as well. So, but this layout just reminds me of that. If you haven't watched that series, it's quite fun, and it's quite inspirational, because you can see that you can, you know, you don't need the entire collection. If you have the cut apart of the collection, you can make an entire layout with that by cutting up the pieces, making your own ephemera and sew up. Anyway, go to my channel, and then you can go and have a look at One Sheet Wonder Wednesday, I think it was called. Anyway, so I'm going through the ephemera as well, and as you can see, I took out loads of those little vellum pieces, and this is one of the things that's in this collection, vellum, and I love it. There's loads of vellum flowers. One thing I really wish, though, is that she put more of those massive flowers in. Now there are two of them, but you know, I wish they had more, because the flowers in the 12 by 12 paper is too big. You know, they're too big. You can't cut them up. Well, if you do, well, you can probably, but you know, they're too big for my liking in any case. So I'm using that one flower down at the bottom right hand corner of my layout. So I'm taking out the sticker sheet again, having a look at if there's anything I want to add to my layout, and I'm thinking now, you know, what's next. It's a very busy layout. There's lots going on. I've got a very nice balance of black, top right, bottom left, center, all the black, and then I've got a very nice balance of that rose gold with the little stars and the little tab I'm putting at the top, that circle with a heart that I'm adding there now. So everything is nice and balanced. The flower is, the green in the flower is nicely balanced with that little card that says life doesn't get better than this. So everything is nice and balanced. And I'm just adding that little, the best of the best, I think that says. The best of the best, yes, smile, the best of the best. So, and what I'm doing here is now I'm starting to glue it down. And in a previous video, I spoke about my process of how I sometimes complete the whole layout without gluing anything down, and then when I have to start gluing stuff down, then the, you know, cows come home. So I, you know, it is quite finicky when you do it this way. I'm not the type of scrapper that puts everything down as I scrap, or well, glues everything down as I go on with the layout. I usually put everything in the order or in the formation or in the composition that I want it, and then when I'm happy with it, then I will glue everything down. I won't, you know, I think I'm scared to commit. So once everything is to my liking and I feel everything's nice and balanced, and you know, my page is telling the story that I wanted to convey, then I start gluing everything down. And usually it works really well, but with something like this where the arrangement is so finicky, sometimes I don't get the arrangement back to what it was, or you know, I put a little paper behind another little paper that wasn't there before, but you know, the overall look is the same. But for this I got it quite right. You know, I got everything the way I wanted it. I am going to be putting that flower die cut up on some foam squares. I thought that it needed some dimension. Even though there's a lot of layers in this layout, there's not a lot of dimension. So I needed some dimension for this. And I'm just adding that little vellum flag at the top there to bring in some more black. That bit was a bit, that little bit on the that I'm covering now was a bit open, so I've got that little ephemera piece also that says something, the little arrow that points to the photo. It is quite a silly photo, I know. My Andre is pulling such a cute face and Emma's having a big laugh. So this was even before Lucy, long before Lucy. This photo was taken somewhere in 2016, I think. So yes, I've been going through my photos, and my photos are all organized year by year, and I've realized that I've hardly ever scrapped any 2016 photos. So I've been gingerly going through them all to try and get them all scrapped. And that little tag I am going to add to the top tab at the top, or the tag at the top. So there's two little tags that I wanted to put some twine in, and this is just some paper twine. It's very hard to put that through. It's very hard to bend the twine because it is a paper twine, and there I break it. See? Yep. And I try to fix it. I don't get it right. I try to see if I can't, you know, salvage it, but it didn't work in the end. So I'm going to cover that up later on, and you'll see how that works in the end. You don't even see that there's a hole there in, you know, in the end. So I was a bit more careful with this tag because I really didn't want to mess this one up. And Emma was telling me, or was asking me about the photo here. That is what her little hand is doing. She's always interested when I come and scrap. She's been banned from my scrap table because she pretends to scrap and make videos. So then she gets into my papers and my scissors and my glues, and every once in a while when I get to my table, there's this surprise waiting for me. So she's been banned from my table. But anyway, see how I stick that little heart from the sticker sheet just over that hole that was ripped open. I'm going to be using some black Heidi Swapp Color Shine just to splat on those areas to bring in some more of the black accents. I really love the effect that this creates, the little shimmer in it as well. And that is it. I really liked how this layout turned out. Lots of layers, and very simple actually. So anyway, I hope to see you soon. Bye.